Algorand, it's already planning for 2027. I'm not even joking. Take a look at what's on the screen as of right now. Algorand, they recently posted a roadmap and it showcases the road to quantum resilience by 2027. Now, nothing I say is financial advice and I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but keep in mind, the market isn't doing the best. ALGO, which is Algorand's native token, that's not doing the best. And then at the same time, Algorand has the foresight to care this much about security. The reason why this could matter so much is because if we take a look at, again, Algorand said, the question is no longer whether the transition to post-quantum security will happen. They say that it's whether organizations will be ready when it does. Meaning that when it comes to Algorand, security is a top concern. And if we think about it, people like to say, well, what do they know about security? Well, let's think about this. Google's recent quantum paper actually mentioned Algorand quite a lot. As a matter of fact, Algorand was the third most mentioned blockchain on there. I'm not joking. It actually only lost out to Ethereum and Bitcoin, which is understandable. But if we think about it, Algorand, the third most mentioned, how does that make sense? Algorand isn't even a top 50 project as of right now. It's ranked 66 in the world in terms of market cap within this space. So we gotta let that sink in. Algorand, people like to say, well, what do they know about security? Again, we have to think about this. This has been a key priority for them since the beginning. They've already done some key important things to actually focus on security. Like for instance, they focused on state proofs in 2022. We take a look at what they did in terms of software development kit, the ALGO kit. So they're doing a lot of things to care about security. And this is, the stages that they're doing, right? To, hopefully become quantum resilience by 2027. Now, there's no way to really know that because we're not in 2027 as of right now. But I'm just saying still, at least that is a priority. In which case, this does matter a lot because Algorand is very focused on enterprise adoption, right? In which case, a lot of enterprises, one of their main priorities is security. And if we think about it as well, for a lot of these AI developers, they care so much about security. So if Algorand can bolster that, if it could actually achieve quantum resilience by 2027, it's going to allow for Algorand to have this major presence within the space, at least when it comes to security, which I don't think is a bad thing. So when people like to say, well, in the past 24 hours, ALGO, it's down around 1%, and then in the past week, down almost 2%, and then in the past month, down around almost 10%. Okay, I get that. That's all background noise though, because we have to think about the real McCoy here. We have to think about what they're actually doing behind the scenes, because my mindset isn't days, weeks, months. My mindset is years, because I don't mind waiting for quite a while. So when it comes to what's going on, every 24 hours in the past week, in the past month or whatever, it's nothing that necessarily concerns me because it's just not something I'm so focused on. It's like, for instance, if I'm running a marathon, what happens in the second, third, fourth, or fifth mile, it's whatever. It's like background noise. What does the finish look like, right? The journey along the way, there might be ups and downs, but I care more so about the long term. If, let's say, my mindset was a very short-term mindset, I would not want to be in this space at all, just because this space, we don't really know sometimes when things could recover. Now, people like to tell me, but why don't you pull up a price chart and start drawing things, right? Draw triangles or whatever, draw a falling wedge pattern. They think that because if I do that, then I'll know. But actually, quite frankly, even if I did do that, I would not know. There's just no way I would know, because what do you think the market's going to do? Listen to me? It won't do that. This video is not meant to showcase when things could recover or when they will recover. That's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to more so talk to the more, I guess, long-term fans of Algorand, those who care about Algorand maybe for years moving forward and maybe don't really care about too much in regards to the price chart every couple minutes or every couple days, because I am not a trader, right? If I was a trader, then my content would be so different, but I'm not. I'm treating this like a marathon. I'm only dollar cost averaging once a month anyways. So my videos are more so geared towards, updates, what's going on when it comes to a project, what improvements are they doing. That's more so what I'm focused on. So this is not a video where I'm going to talk about when this could recover, that could recover. Again, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to talk about the fundamentals when it comes to Algorand and talk about what's going on. And the fact that they're trying to achieve quantum resilience by 2027, I think it's a pretty important topic to actually talk about, because this is a main focus when it comes to Algorand. We already know Algorand is this layer one blockchain that, is allegedly pretty fast, it's pretty scalable, the gas fees are not ridiculous. So we already got that cleared out of the way, right? But, this type of stuff right here, what they're trying to achieve by 2027, that I think is pretty important. And I think it showcases the long-term vision when it comes to Algorand. Need I remind people, right? When it comes to Algorand, it has an aspect of ISO 20022. That's kind of legendary because Ripple and Stellar, they have an aspect of that, but so does Algorand. And if we think about it as well, even though I'm not like super focused on the price charts only, but I think this is just some food for thought, at least personally for me. If I take a look at it, Algorand as of right now is around 8.5 cents. But if we actually take a look at it back in July, so basically around a year ago, ALGO was at around 32 cents. We're around 4 times lower than that. One thing I do know for sure, though, is that Bitcoin is not around 4 times lower than where it was back in July of 2025. It just isn't. But ALGO is, right, which is Algorand's native token. So if they could only just recover back to that point, it's not like Bitcoin's going to do anything so impressive. I mean, it's only around 2 times lower than its all-time high. And 32 cents, that's not even the all-time high when it comes to ALGO. If we take a look at it, actually, the all-time high when it comes to ALGO is around $3.28. So really, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't need to ever really go back there. If it could just even go back to July of 2025, which were around 4 times lower than that. I'm going to Sizzler, the restaurant. Now, I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but here's the thing. People sometimes like to ask me, is Algorand closer to a bottom or a top? There's no way I can know that, but I'm just going to take a look at the charts and just talk about what I can observe, right? If I take a look at it again, what is the all-time high when it comes to ALGO? $3.28. So historically, that is its ceiling, as of now at least. What is its floor? What is ALGO's all-time low? Did you know that the all-time low is 8 cents? We're around 8.5 cents as of right now. So we're basically at all-time low levels. I'm not joking. We're literally only around 5% away from the all-time low. Like, what the? So when people like to ask me, is this closer to a floor or a ceiling? Historically, we're actually very close to the floor. Only around 5% away. That's the thing. I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but that's just what I noticed. It's just so close to its all-time low, very far away from its all-time high. If I take a look at it as well, 8 cents, I mean, again, it's basically at all-time low levels. We're seeing that in 2026. Keep in mind, in 2019, ALGO was at around 24 cents, 30 cents, and all this. But right now, we're around 8.5 cents. Wow. That's just my reaction. And if anything, Algorand is improving, yet it's at around all-time low levels. I'm not going to complain about the hypothetical dip. That's just my mindset. Now, again, I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but I am personally dollar cost averaging once every month. Basically, that's what I do. But if it's at all-time low levels, yeah, I'm not going to complain. That's my mindset. But yeah, besides that point, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I'll be sure to make more updates moving forward. It's been Lee the Captain, and I hope you all have a very wonderful, amazing, and spectacular day.